right, guys, it's Michelle with As the Table Turns, interviewing Sabrina Gendron, if I'm saying that right?
Gendron, you can say it with a French accent. Gendron.
Gendron, all right. Super excited to interview you. I saw your information about the Serverpreneur Society, so I'm excited to talk about that. But first of all, how long have you been in the industry?
So I have been in the industry since I was around 18, 19 years old. And I started, first of all, doing promo for nightclubs in London, like the Flyer Girls. I was out in the cold trying to get people into the nightclubs. One time I was outside Tiger dressed even as a tiger with
That's awesome.
whiskers on, and that sort of then led me into becoming a cocktail waitress for one of the biggest nightclubs in London, and that was just such a great experience to step in, like being the waitress. I just saw that in a short space of time I could make a lot of money, and I had friends that were doing the normal job, and I was like, I just loved the energy of the club. I loved that I could be my personality, and it was just so much fun. So yeah, and it kind of drew me in there for quite a long time.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what do you think has kept you in the industry for so long?
Yeah, I think so, because I was a performer as well alongside starting to work in the industry. So I was that stereotype, out of work, dancer, actress, who was being a bartender and a server. And I think, yeah, that flexibility of being able to sort of pick it up, drop it, move around, that was kind of what kept me. And also, you know, you can make money that weekend as well for when you need it. So that's something that has always drawn me to the independence I had. I felt like I was an independent server. Like I was freelance. I did what I want, and that's what I liked, was the freedom of it.
Sure. Well, I feel like, yeah, it's nice when you can go pretty much anywhere and find a job within a week or whatever, if you had to. So for sure. So where are you located now?
So right now, I know I have the British accent, but I'm actually located, I'm in the US right now, in Missouri. It's where my husband's from. We actually met down in Florida in Key West, and we've moved back to Missouri. So I'm in Missouri right now.
So are you still in the service industry, or are you completely out of it and just on the other side of it?
Well, no, I took a step out of it. I'm still deciding, you know, there's actually some places that I would consider working, but I would like to, you know, help manage the place. I feel like with my years of experience, you know, we like to sort of grow in the industry. And so if I went back, it would, you know, I know so many people like, don't be a manager.
That's what
I think yeah, but I really do think it's all about how you manage people. Like you really got to just empower people and encourage people. I know some amazing managers that you just love coming to work for them, and when they ask you to do something, you love it because you're learning and they're helping you grow and become a better server. You know, there's these managers that just tell you what to do, and that's not the same as, you know, I feel like if you're a manager, you're a leader as well. You shouldn't ask anyone to do something that you're not willing to do yourself. So I really feel like my energy and my positivity, and also my perspective on the industry, would make me a really good manager to help a business grow, especially now I've got all these other skills that I've learned as well.
There is definitely a difference between a leader and a manager. And it's funny, I just had this conversation a week ago with my boyfriend. Like, there's managers shouldn't ask their staff to do anything that they're not willing to do themselves, or even owners too. You know, we saw an owner down the street, and he's an older guy out there, you know, scrubbing the sidewalk and stuff. And it's like, that's a great owner, because he's doing what he expects his staff to. You can't just boss people around in orders and then just go sit in the office. That's not okay. Especially in this industry, you're supposed to be a people person, you know?
Yeah.
So did you leave because of COVID, or just to work on your other stuff, or when you leave?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I left before COVID. When I say I quit the job I was at, it was, I just got to a point where I'd outgrown that particular restaurant. Kind of got a little bit upset in a team meeting, and but me being upset, going, I'm quitting. I'll give you 8 weeks notice. Like,
that's awesome.
Well, because I was doing so much, especially on the weekends, I knew it was going to take them time to replace me, and I just can't drop people. But I just knew it was time for me to move on. And, you know, like I said, there was an opportunity for me to work on other things. So that's what I chose to do, and we can. That's the great thing about the industry is I've leaned on it, I've stepped away from it. It's the stepping stone, it's the thing in between. It's doing it till you find the next big thing that you want to do. So it's always been there for me, and I think with COVID, that was the first time in my life where I was like, I can't go back if I wanted to.
Right.
That freaked me out. I was like, I've always relied on maybe to just pick up one shift bartending or something like that. So that's when really I had a bit of a wake up call of I do need to branch out, use my skills from hospitality and really do something else that is going to be safer and, you know, something for security as well for the future. Oh,
for sure. Yeah, there's definitely not the job security. I've left and come back so many times too. Like I've done real estate and I've done a million things, and then I work in the airlines, and then I come back because I just like the fast pace and the easy cash.
Yeah.
You know, if you're tight on money, you can pick up a shift, or if you're like, I'm over it, you can give them away too. So it's perfect, you know?
Yeah.
Name something before COVID that you did that you can't or don't do now.
It is me and my husband, we like traveling, we like taking a weekend here, a weekend there, and with COVID it kind of just sort of put a stopper on that. I mean, we still considered about going places, but you know, there was still the risk factor. They didn't want people traveling. Going back to Key West, that is something me and my husband love going to. We've got amazing friends down there. We love the bars, we love it down there, and that was something that was really sort of disappointing because it's all mandatory masks down there at the moment.
Oh, sure.
Which is totally understandable. It's really hot, and just going for a vacation, it would have been uncomfortable. So I am shouting out to anybody, especially in any of the hot states or countries, having to wear a mask. Like, bless you. Like that's tough right now. So on right now, because I mean, I have the privilege of not choosing to go down there. So
yeah, right. Community and stuff is so tough. I've been wearing a face shield, not a mask, when I've been working. Right. But even like the 90-degree heat or when the wind's blowing and stuff, I feel like I have a plastic bag suffocating me. So it's not much better than the mask, but slightly better. But it's tough. I don't know how people do it and I've only been working a couple of shifts a week, but people that are doing it full time, 8 to 10 hours a day, I'm like, man, I can't even imagine.
I mean, my heart goes out to them as well, because obviously right now I'm not having to experience that. Sure. And for me, my thoughts and prayers are with them.
What is the most important thing that the industry taught you?
Oh, good question. I really think it's made me understand people a lot more. Sure. You know, that you can't control people, and there's some odd ones out there as well.
That's my way of saying it.
Yeah, I mean, just the variety of people, because obviously I've experienced it in different countries as well. So it's been really exciting getting that perspective of how things work in one country to another. And just really getting a perspective on how people think and how people work. So the industry is a people's industry. So when people say, I hate people, it breaks my heart when the industry has got to that point. And I know what that's like, because there's days I'm like, I ain't peopling today. I don't want to people. And I find that, it kind of nugs at me, because I love hanging out with people. I love finding out about them. I love hearing the stories, because everyone who comes into the industry or you meet as a customer has a story. So I've really learned actually to listen to people. That's something, and understand them a lot more.
I am one of those people that I made a wine glass that says I hate people, and I feel like there's a fine line between love and hate. Like, I love hearing people's stories. That's why I started doing these interviews and stuff, and I love, you know, the environment and the stories. But there's definitely days where I'm like, I can't even. All right, so you've been sober for a few months. What's been the most rewarding thing about sobriety for you?
This is non-alcoholic, by the way.
If it was, I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah, so mine has been 9 months.
Oh, nice.
It's been the longest I've not had a drink, probably since I was a teenager.
You were underage.
Yeah. I was at home though. It's okay.
Yeah, right.
Malibu and pineapple was my first cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so what's the most rewarding thing? I think it's not waking up with that ridiculous hangover, I can't face the world. I think that's been really, really rewarding, is being able to really put my all into things and not spend so much time doing it, because I actually was looking at how much time I was just spending sitting around drinking, and just sort of that time I got back. So I've just been really rewarded by my discipline as well, because it's very easy just to go, no one's going to know, let me just have one. So I think the rewarding thing was that I'm doing it for myself. I'm not doing it to prove it or do it for anybody else. And it's been really rewarding to see that I can do it and I have control over it. And I'm not saying I may not ever have a glass of champagne again to celebrate, but for me it was just, I just wanted to get a bit of a handle on it, because I felt like it was overwhelming and it was taking control of my life and just was going in a bit of a not the right direction, and I wanted to get back on a more positive path. So yeah, it's amazing that your friend did it for 30 days, because that's what got me started. I was like, if I can't not drink for 30 days, I've got a problem.
Right. So what was the most challenging for you? Her thing was the first week, the first day was the most difficult. And then after that, I was like, okay, it's been 30 days. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, she's totally right. That's kind of the feel that it was. The most challenging thing was going to a bar many times and not ordering the drink that you're normally getting. I think I very much an atmosphere. I have an identity as well with people that know me and friends of being that, let's have a drink, let's get the shots thing, get around, or someone walks through the door, you don't know, that's on me. You know, I was very much an encourager of drinking. So the fact that my image was coming all about like I'm sober now, people, it was different. And actually I've got so many people that reached out to me and were just saying how they were just so happy for me. And lots of other friends as well that said that, you know, they're doing a sobriety that I didn't know about. So it really like brought people sort of together. So yeah, that was good.
That's really cool, because I feel like in this industry, you know, it's so socially acceptable and it's easy to fall in the trap. I mean, I've definitely been there where it's like, okay, I need to take a break for a week or something because I'm heading down a track and I have goals that I want to accomplish and I'm not going to do it. And luckily, I don't really, I hit 45 and I had probably my first hangover. I was like, okay, I don't know how people drink if they feel like this all the time, you know what I mean? So I'm lucky in that regard, but it's like, okay, I don't need to spend the money on it and I want to accomplish goals. And like, I didn't get hungover, but I'd be tired, you know, and just like, I need to take a nap. It's like, okay, you don't need to be doing this all the time.
Yeah, and actually during quarantine as well, I was like, I cannot believe this is the time I'm not drinking. This is my shining hour. This is me drinking. This is what I love to do. And so actually, yeah, that's actually really rewarding that during quarantine, not falling into that, because it would have been so easy just to say, oh, I'll do this another time, because you can start it whenever you want, and you're the one in control. So yeah.
Oh, for sure. It's funny because I feel like when the quarantine first started, I did really good. And it was like, I have goals, I'd focus, I want to get out of the industry and I have stuff to work on. And then when I went back to work, I was super depressed. So I was like, okay, July and August, I had a tough time. So I'm like, okay, not like I'm drinking all the time or drinking a ton, but more often than I wanted to be. So it's like, okay, get back on track, because this is, you know, it just sucks. Right. So tell us about the Serverpreneur Society. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but so how did you come up with the idea for that? And what does the future look like? And what do you do with it?
Oh, well, yeah, really excited to share this with you. So the Serverpreneur Society, it all started similar, like looking for a way to, you know, an exit plan out of the industry.
Sure.
And I came along with all these online ideas, and I was meeting a lot of people online, building businesses, entrepreneurs and things like that. And there was, you know, ones for mums, and there was one for nurses, and there was even one for architects. And I'm like,
sure.
Oh, like I'm not any of these people. And then I was like, what could I do? I'm like, well, I'm hospitality. There needed to be somewhere to help people in hospitality learn some online skills and empower them to become entrepreneurs, set them up, someone to do it by their side, because it can feel scary to do things on your own and you're leaving. And what I'm doing is the Serverpreneur Society is empowering people to use their hospitality talents, their qualities, the skills, that knowledge, especially with customers, to build their own customer legacy on their own. Right. Because I realized after a decade of being in the industry, I served just thousands of people for somebody else's business. And I grew that, and people were even coming back to that business because of my service. And I had it said to me so many times, like, oh, you should run the place and and I was like, yeah. And I didn't have the confidence. So I actually, because I was drinking quite heavily, I actually hit a real rock bottom on my confidence to do anything else.
Sure.
So I actually went on a journey of self-development and found some mentors and coaches to lift me up. And actually, that's when the idea emerged. They were like, well, now you've done it for yourself, go help somebody else. So I was like, okay, let's go. And so I created this brand to help servers to set them up online and build a customer legacy of their own, like they deserve. They really do. Sure.
That's super cool. So what do you see for the future of the Serverpreneur Society?
I get so excited because I get goosebumps thinking about it.
Awesome.
I mean, the vision and the mission is at the moment to help at least 100 servers and hospitality experts start their online business and confidently start growing it.
Nice.
And I literally just do see sort of an army of hospitality industry people becoming their own entrepreneurs, and then they could have the capital to start their own bars and restaurants. I mean, there's so many people in the industry that are absolute talents, and there's no talent scout that's coming along to pick them out. So you have to take ownership of your own, and you know, when you see the sign and you see the help, ask for it, get the knowledge. And really, I just see you know, a conference in a hotel of us all being together and training happening and real just empowerment. You know, it's just going to be so exciting. And I just, because I do love people, I'm so excited about creating that community of like-minded, get the job done, you know, real hard workers creating an empire.
Good for you. That's super cool. I love it. So tell me about your book too.
Yeah, so this obviously, with all that kind of happening, it kind of caught the eye of these two entrepreneurial women that were writing a book. And they asked me if I would write a chapter about my journey from hospitality, my journey to sobriety, and then onto entrepreneurship. So I wrote a chapter. I actually dedicated it to everyone in the industry, to every server and bartender that's been stiffed a tip, left in the weeds, and been made to feel less than they're worth 20%, because you deserve more and you are worth more. You just got to believe in yourself to do it. It was a real crazy experience, because when I first was asked, I was like, why would anyone want to hear my story? I'm like, really, what would it do? And then I just got that intuitive feeling of, you've got to do this for somebody else. I had to take my ego away of what's everyone going to think about me, and oh, what would I write? And I was like, you've got to share this, because there's somebody out there just like me who's either struggling in the industry, feeling a bit stuck. Maybe they're drinking a lot, maybe they're feeling down, low self-worth, low self-confidence, and maybe they pick up this book and find my chapter and see a little bit of themselves, and it brings themselves up. So it was a nerving experience, but a great one as well, because I'd never written anything like that before. And I also had a spelling book when I was at school. So I was also like, oh my God, how do I write and things like that. But it also just shows, you know, just go for it, take an opportunity when you see it. And you know, now I've got this chapter in a book. I'm an author. Who would have known?
Cool. If you have a copy of the book, show it right now.
Well, I have it by side to empower myself. I read my own chapters sometimes.
That's awesome.
You're gonna love it. Empowers myself. So it is called The Elevation of the Femalpreneur. That's me. I'm on the cover of the book. And my chapter is called The Wake Up Call, because I needed one.
I feel like a lot of people can relate to that too, though, in the industry. I mean, the most common thing that I hear from people is, I want to leave, but where am I going to make money like this?
I also believe wealth is a mindset, and I did have the mindset of, when I go into my shift, I actually don't know how much money I'm making that day.
Yeah.
That's a very entrepreneurial mindset. You actually will find a lot of the qualities that you guys will have as servers and people in hospitality are what an entrepreneur needs, because you're going in not knowing how much money you make, but you still show up, don't you? And you go in there and you hustle, you work, and you go do it. And yeah, I did have that mindset of, I've only made this so much in the industry, So, you know, when you start being an entrepreneur and you have other ways of doing it, you can just open your mind and open your vision a lot more. So yeah, I mean, I help people so get that money mindset, I would call it, I guess, to have more.
I think that it's definitely important. And I do like, we do have so many skills. Like you should be your own boss or have a side hustle or something, just because, I mean, look at COVID. Who knows how the industry is going to be after this is all over. I guess so that would be my next question. Like, what do you see for the future of the industry?
Now this I've had a lot of people ask me that when I went into my local bar. My bartender went, Sabrina, what do you think is going to happen? And I was like, guys, you know what? Right now we are all going with the flow. I feel like we as the industry will rally together and we will do everything we can to make it what it was again. The thing is we're relying on customers. We really are relying on customers to walk through the door. And at the moment, we're not too sure. There's lots of people that can't wait and they want to just everything to be back to normal. And then there's these people that are like, they're still hanging back and they're waiting. And that's what's hurting us, is the people not fully trusting that where they're going, the servers are taking care of them, you know, the right measures are being taken. So I think it's going to take us some time. I think we've got to heal our customers' trust and relationship with the industry, because I think no matter what anybody says, and I know I have a biased opinion, but I think hospitality got the biggest hit. And I think it's also because we don't have unions. We are independent servers and we go in there off our own backs. Especially if you are in like the mom and pops and the individually privately owned businesses. You're not part of a corporate chain or anything like that. But my hope is we'll find our feet again, because I love the industry. I love going out in it, and I do enjoy working it. Obviously you have your bad days and reasons why you want to get out. Yeah, but I you know, we can only wait and see, but it is also our job, if you are working in the industry and you're a leader in it, to just hold on. Like I hope it will come back.
I think it will come back. I think it'll be changed. Obviously, I feel like the customers have proven that they need us. They can't do they need the experience and they can't do this without us. I mean, maybe we'll be replaced by robots at some point, but I feel like we'll be around for a while though.
Yeah, I've seen those electronic bartenders where you do that, and I mean, I get it, new technology, and you know, it's kind of scary, to be honest.
Right.
You know, I like going to bars. I like being served by my bartender. I like seeing up the bar. I like them chatting with me. I do like that interaction. So
yeah, the human interaction is a huge thing, and I feel like that's also been something we've learned with the quarantine. Like, people are craving just talking to another human being. All right, so a fun question, non-industry. If you had to pick one song to play every time you entered a room, what would it be?
I'm gonna pick an empowering song. I'm gonna pick "Lose Yourself" by Eminem. You know that you've only got one shot. This is I can't even rap like him. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Yo, like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, like, bring them up in the room.
All right, last question. What is your spirit animal?
Okay, so it's now been over a year. I've got a Jack Russell Chihuahua puppy. And I think my spirit animal is definitely a Jack Russell. She is so much energy. She always wants to play. She loves a cuddle. She'll eat anything. Yeah, she's just a bundle of joy and love. So I would say my spirit animal is definitely a Jack Russell.
Your spirit animal is your dog?
My dog, yeah. I mean, if people say like, you guys are the same. I mean, you know, when you see those owners that the dog looks like the owner. I mean, she's sleeping right now. I won't interrupt her. But yeah, you'll be, I love that.
Sabrina, well, thank you so much for interviewing with me. That's awesome. It was good to chat with you.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Oh, I just loved it. This was awesome.
Thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you, Michelle.
Have a good day.
Bye. You too.